Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.
And a guilty plea. The world watched as two high-profile cases, the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial and the Idaho quadruple murder case, captivated millions. Joining us to discuss, criminal defense attorney Steve Greenberg. A lot to talk about. Let's start with the Sean Diddy Combs verdict. Does the outcome mean that the defense, in your opinion, adequately argue the interactions laid out in this trial were consensual?
Well, they obviously must have. You know, the prosecution had a lot of problems because there was a great volume of text messages in this case showing that things were consensual. There were a lot of text messages with Cassie and with Jane showing that they were willing participants in what came to be called these freak-offs. In fact, Cassie was oftentimes arranging things on her own. I think the government overreached a little bit on this case. They got into a relationship and they're trying to take federal criminal statutes and they're saying that we're going to criminalize a person's relationship. I was critical of this prosecution.
Guys, make sure, guys, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel. Here we go, guys. We got, after talk going on where, lawyers and everybody got so much to say, but this guy I kind of agree with, it looks like they try to get into relationship stuff and they charged him the wrong thing. I think that's why they came off on the low end instead on the high end of what they were trying to do. And they wanted him to get life. He ends up getting a maximum of 10 years on 2 consecutive accounts. OG, you there? What's going on?
Man, this is just like Puffy had the worst defense team in America. That they sold him out for a bottling company. Now, they should have had this information. It says here that Creighton Howard, one of the male escorts, was hired by Diddy, and he is suing right now, is dragging Diddy and Cassie to court. His claim is that Cassie gave him a sexually transmitted disease.
What?
And aborted a baby after he got her pregnant.
Are you serious?
She gave him a sexually transmitted disease and was pregnant with his baby and got an abortion, and he's suing them.
Where'd you get that? Is this from the dark web?
No, this is from TMZ.
Oh, okay. So TMZ, this is the real deal.
This came off of New York Times. This is actual, supposedly actual fact. Creighton was one of the guys in the trial, was a male escort. Now, Diddy's defense team should have had this investigative information. This leads to this lady's character, to the things that she will do and the things that she had done. So this was a setup, and just to show him that you're just still a Negro, man. You're not white folks. And they crossed him up because allegedly that Diego, the bottling company, owes Puffy and his corporation $2 billion. And they accessed him to put him in prison so they wouldn't have to pay the $2 billion.
This is just, do you really, how long do you think Diddy will do actual time in prison?
He'll do about 21 months.
So he ain't even gonna do 2 years, you don't think?
No, he'll do about 21 months.
Do you think they'll give him his back time for what he spent already?
That's how he'll do it in 21 months. He'll do 21 months. And they're alleging they may give him time served. Now, the allegation is that the reason that the judge didn't grant him an appeal bond is because of the violence of his case.
Okay.
He was not charged with domestic violence. When they brought up that he had assaulted Cassie, that was enough for the court to say that he was a danger.
Wow. When you look at Cassie wrote a letter to the judge to say, do not let him out. Don't let him out. She don't want him. She feared for her life. That's why they saying that they didn't let him out.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, she and you know, this here comes after what you just was telling me, that this guy now comes out and he says I'm suing him because she gave me an STD, and not only that, she had my child.
He has paperwork that she had an abortion and the child was his. But you cannot sue nobody. You're just a worker. Your semen was paid for $2,000.
You semen paid for it, but man, still, that's that man's child, OG. You can't expect him not to have feelings if something like that happened, man. This is his seed he planted inside of her.
That's not his child. He has nothing to do with that. He was just an instrument. If you use a hoe and plant a tree, does the tree belong to the hoe?
Now, this is the most absurd analogy. If the tree belongs to the hoe that dig the tree, what are you saying? OG, you know that man, if he put a baby in her, and that's his child, that's his seed, man.
Well, if he running around slinging it every time, he's not Johnny Appleseed. He's not growing trees. He's just a maintenance man.
OG, I really think, and I'm going to tell you this right now, man. I think we got a lot of, we got a lot of nerve sending Diddy to prison right now over this crap. I mean, and a lot of people got mad at me. I think that, like I said again, when it comes to assault, he assaulted Cassie. Yeah, but all that other stuff, they always in cahoots together. If Diddy going to jail, take all of them to jail. All of them need to go.
No, well, the only thing that I feel that is justified in this whole ordeal was him beating up Cassie but stealing his jewelry.
Well, I don't know about the stealing jewelry part. That's the dark web information you got, but that's dark web info.
He grabbed that bag first. So
he grabbed the bag, but he pulled her down the damn hall. I'm telling you now, that was an assault there, and that's the only thing that I felt like that was justifiable in here. All the other stuff, they all freakish. This man should have got a freako, not a RICO, and they shouldn't even charge him with nothing but being a freak. And whatever that carries is what they should have penalized him with.
Well, let me say this. If anybody beat you up and drag you, and you start messing with them the next day, there's something wrong with you. And she knew what she did was wrong, and she accepted that and went on with it and kept on dealing with it. And to bring it up 16 years later, it's out of line.
Bring it up 16 years later is out of line, but at the end of the day, that there's no statute on when she can bring it up. And OG, it couldn't be. She brought it to trial, and it was 2016. It wasn't no hold, but it was 2016.
He was brought up. He was not charged with it. He was not charged with it.
No, you're right about that. I got to pull up. I digress.
They brought it up. First of all, the defense should not let it even be brought up because it had nothing to do with trafficking. That's a domestic violence case. Do not bring that. The jury shouldn't have heard anything about him doing anything to Cassie because he was never charged with that. First and foremost.
Wow. This is heavy information. The one thing you got to understand, though, OG, we got a man that's in jail right now on some charges that really they could have let him be out until they got all this, till they sentenced him. He's not a threat. He wasn't going to run away. He didn't run the first time. You were one of the ones that tell me this man wasn't going to go nowhere.
He should have stayed where he was.
Well, he's not going to go nowhere. So I think they should have at least gave him a chance to be with his family before he go to do his time. But the way this is looking, he may indeed get time served, and he might deal with this from outside anyway once they come back and let him out. I think he could still walk away from this without even having to go do any time in prison.
He gonna do some time.
You heard what I said.
For all the dirt that he did, this is compensation. He's paying for. He's getting ready to see really what really goes on, how black men really have to suffer. So he got that coming, but his defense team should be disbarred.
Wow. So you mad at Steele now? Steele standing around like he did his job.
still got paid $500,000 for nothing.
Still did his job.
Okay.
Still didn't. They won that case. According to them, this was a win for them. It was a big win for them. Guys, if you're still watching, get in the, make sure you watch this next coming video. Should be right here. I think it's going to be something about Diddy from when this thing all started to unveil. But I want to also say, man, if you're still watching, man, go download bosstalk101.app. You got to download that app and go on and spend that $7.99. Show support to the channel. Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff, exclusive interviews that you guys have never seen. They're not loaded up on nowhere, not even on YouTube, some of them. So get in there, pay the $7.99, see some stuff that we got going behind the scenes. Me and OG went up to San Antonio, all kind of stuff. And like I said, watch this Diddy stuff that should be right here. Hey, we going back to the Diddy committee, man. Is he gonna go to prison like OG said, or is he gonna will I see the penitentiary, or will I stay free? Is what that boy Pac said. Man, what's gonna happen with Diddy? Let us know. Boss Talk 101, man, reviews.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk TV. Shout out to E. He the reason you see me.